Right, boys, welcome back to the podcast. Scratch Record Podcast. We're episode 13 today. And we're joined with a very, very special guest.
A celebrity, I'd say.
A local celebrity.
A local hero.
A local hero. He has a lot of listens on Spotify. His most recent single at the minute is sitting at about 30,000 streams, which is fucking unbelievable. We have the lead singer of Garden, Cameron Pike.
Thank you very much.
Get in, welcome, mate. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that was good. That was an X Factor style, that, wasn't it?
I've been practicing that in the bedroom.
Can you ever walk into a room? Can I have that?
I'll tell you what, I'll clip it up for you. I'll send it to you.
You can play it on your phone every time you go anywhere.
Oh, how have you been then, mate? How are you
good,
finding
man. Yeah,
lockdown?
I'm alright. Considering everything going on, we're all good.
Good.
How are you, lads?
Yeah,
Yeah, alright, mate. Yeah,
as
not
good
too
as
bad. It's funny ask you about we've been talking for about 3 hours.
We've been talking about 2 hours, so we're starting.
Yeah. So I don't know if we have any if you've got anything you want to kick off with. I've got a couple, but
no, go on. You take it off to start with.
I mean, I think really, to start off with, I think just in case there is someone listening to this that doesn't know who you are, which I think might not
There's a
happen,
few.
maybe, but who are you? What is Garden? Like, kicks off. Give a little brief roundup.
My name's Cam. I'm Cameron.
It's like Alcoholics Anonymous.
I tried to sing in a band called Garden. We're a local band, do alright.
Yeah,
Do
very well. Do very
That's
well.
all of it, yeah. I'm going to do that.
Why don't you take us through to start with then, like, where did it start for you?
The whole, music?
Music, as a whole.
God.
Let's take us back, I'm guessing primary school sort of ages. What happened?
I had a weird start because I started about 6. I started playing guitar because remember Lawrence Edmonds?
Yeah.
Lawrence Edmonds, shout out Lawrence Edmonds, legend. He had a guitar that he never played, and I used to go around his house a lot, and he said I could have it, so I had it off him, and I started playing. And I used to when I was younger, I used to write. This is really cringy. I used to write loads of stories and poems when I was younger.
Oh, I think that's brilliant.
And
That's
so then that's what my mum and dad want me to get a guitar. So you can try and write overall. So then that's why I got that, and I fell out of it. Well, I was about 8 or 9, and I fell over for like a year or so. I didn't play it at all. And then my dad used to take me to loads of. We used to go to I used to be in heavy metal. We used to go to heavy metal.
Oh, really?
What they call Battle of the Bands. In Rushden and Ketchen and stuff.
Oh, that's sick.
And I met one of the bands. I just started chatting to him. He was a guitar teacher in Rushden, so I started going to him as a guitar teacher again. So I sort of fell back into it, and then. I remember the thing that got me on writing was I used to go around his the guitar shop. I can't remember what it's called, but it was in Rushden, and we used to just talk and play. And he was like 23, 24, and I was like 10, 11. And I remember I took him one of my songs at that point. I just played him something, and we worked on it. He really liked it, and he asked if he could use it. And then he used it on his. He was like in a metal band, and he used it on their EP. And me and my dad went to watch him again 5 months later at their gig, and he played that song, and he was like, I nicked this song off an 11-year-old. And I remember, honestly, at that point I was like, I want to do that.
Cool. You literally commissioned a song at the age of 11.
That's fucking
sick.
brilliant.
But I remember I was watching your guys' podcast with Elliot, which is a quality episode. That was a really good episode. Shout out Elliot. And he was saying about how lucky you are to have good influence when you're younger. And it is so true. When you have someone younger who really puts you in the right stead.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that was for him. For me, that was the person who I was like, I want to do that.
That's interesting. So how long did you stick with him as a teacher? Was it for a few years?
Moved. I remember his name was Paul Graham, and it was. But he was proper long metalhead, long hair metalhead sort of geezer, and he moved to Canada.
Oh, shit.
He had a girlfriend.
We're tracking him down, aren't we?
Yeah. I'd love to know what he's doing now, but he must be 30 odd now. But he, so I was with him till I was about 12, 13 maybe. And then after that, obviously I started going on my own, and I just sort of carried on. But yeah, that's the only teacher I really had that whole time. Yeah, he was a huge influence on me, massive.
Did you ever get into band? What point did you start getting into bands then? Because there's playing guitar and singing a little piece.
When I started playing in a band.
Yeah, when you started playing in a band, when did you start getting into that style of playing your music and enjoying it like that?
So because Will, who's the drummer, if anyone doesn't know, Will's our drummer, and I knew him when I was 11. Obviously, we were all at school together, so I met him when I was 11. And I knew he really liked. He sort of similar music I did, that sort of 90s grunge sort of thing. And then I used to go around his house all the time when I was younger. And and we just started playing together when I was like 12. So technically, we've been in this band since I was about 13.
Shit.
Which is mad. When you
that
think I'm
is
21 now,
insane,
yeah.
really, isn't
So
it?
we started writing together when I was about 13, and then he had like a guitar teacher, and he sort of played with us a little bit. Then he had a couple of other students who played with us a little bit, and that's till we were about 15. And then about 16, me and Will were like, well, we just want to start our own band, and that's where
it kind of came
Garda
from.
started. Yeah. But so me and Will have been writing together since we were 13.
Because that's what. Because how did like Jake? Because Jake was your guitarist back in before this new lad.
Yeah.
For a long while back, when you released your first EP, like how did he get involved with like you and Will? Then how did that all like kind of come about and blossom?
It's weird because it's when you sort of dream of having that school band. It was so perfect how it worked out because I knew Jake was like a year older from us.
Yeah.
And you know, like someone I just thought was really cool, and I thought he was just a really nice, cool bloke. And I knew him from, we had music together in school before he dropped it, and then we started talking a little bit, started messaging, and then we were just like, let's just start writing together. And it's really mad. He's still one of my best friends now. He's still one of my top best friends now, and we still like write together and show each other stuff now, which is such a nice way that we consider he's not in the band anymore. But we just literally started writing together, and then we just never left each other's side. Since then, and he joined, and I knew the Runchmans. I've known Tom and Kieran. Tom got me sent to the head teacher's office when we were about 6 in school. Honestly,
I'll tell you what, at that point,
He's been a bad influence.
Yeah. It was, if I've ever been a bit of foreshadowing in my life, I
should have realised then that was the point.
Man.
Stay away from him. Like.
Yeah. But he just. So I've known them two since I was.
So when did they get involved with it all then? Because if you and Will were playing for a long period of time.
So me and Will were playing from about 13 to about 15, 16, and I remember we started talking about, we want to start our own band. And I was never the singer in the old band we were sort of in.
Yeah.
We wasn't a band, we just jammed together, we just worked on stuff together. And I was never the singer, and I always wanted to be the singer. So we were like, let's start our own band, and I knew Jake played, and I asked Jake if he wanted to play, and he was like, yeah, I want to play. I'm like, okay, cool, we need a bass. And we played one show before this with me, Jake, Will, and Will's guitar teacher.
Where was that?
It was at the King Billy in Northampton,
Fuck.
which is the most biker. And I was like, me and Will had just turned 16 when we did that, and it was the most bikery, metal-y.
Yeah, I was gonna say the King Billy's fucking hardcore.
I remember being backstage,
hair.
and we were like, take this song out. We were like, we changed our whole set list. We can't. They're gonna hate us.
That's what Elliot Williams was saying about some of the shows, because he's played a couple of times down there. I've been talking to Elliot before, and he was like, he just did not know what to fucking play. It's such a strange.
How to
We've
conduct
done that a lot of
yourself,
times. We've been booked for stuff, and it turns out to be like metal gigs, and then you're like, fuck.
How do you get accidentally booked for a metal gig though? How does that work?
Starting out, this is
Surely.
when you're starting at any gig. It's like, we'll just do
Just
it.
take
Especially
it,
get paid.
yeah.
Like you'll do it.
end of the day.
And then when you get there, and you realise, oh god, like
Studied
leather
It's the bright side. Oh,
yeah. So I've turned up to shows before where it's been like, there's everyone in the crowd has like a cape. It's like, man, cape. And like, man, we're
Spider-Man.
You're like, man, we're not going to fit in
Play a
at all.
tapas bar. That's it.
yeah. So but it is just part of it. You have to do it. But yeah, we've been booked for loads of shows like that where you turn up and you go, man, we're not going to fit in it at all. But
it's all part of it, isn't it?
It is what you
all
got
part
to do.
of it. But pulling it back to something you've just said that made me think, like, you say like you and Jake and that like write together. Like when you say that, do you actually like sit down for a session and you say like, right, come round mine, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna write a song together? Or is it a case of like you have some lyrics that you take to them and they do music? And
I mean, the cool thing, I think the thing that I love the most about it is the sort of like hanging out is in part writing. So if me and Jake just, especially them days, like if you're just hanging out, I'm like, I'll come around yours, mate, and we'll just chill, you end up just writing a song or two.
yeah,
So I think
yeah.
that's
Which is the
brilliant.
cool, it's the
That's
nicest
class.
thing, yeah, like you don't even think about it, or like, I mean,
It's
even-
almost organic, isn't it?
it is, and because if you're going somewhere to write a song, that's where you feel most, and I still can't really work like that as such.
Yeah.
But you have to learn to get better at it. But yeah, when you're going around, like, and me and Will now, whenever we hang out, we'll just write a song, and me and him are writing so much on our own and stuff as well that we'll just be like, and like this morning I sent something over to him. I'm like, oh, do you want to think of this? Or and he sent me over something yesterday. No, what do you think of this? So it's just just happens all the time. But
So is Will involved in quite a lot of the writing process for it?
to be honest, it's me and Will are the writers in the group, which is, you know, it's been that way for a while, but I think especially this year it's really come to,
because you're both very creative people, aren't you? Like he's always done art. He's very creative, isn't he? So it's like it's interesting that you two then like push forward. And
I think especially because we've built up such a relationship of how long we've known each other, that if when you're with someone doing something creative, if they go, "That's rubbish," it's hard to go, I agree. But I've known him so well now that I can go, look, I trust you. If you're telling me this isn't good enough, it's not good enough. You know what I mean? Which is the thing to build up. It takes a long time to build that up.
To be fair, like, me and Joe, we're lucky enough that we've been mates for fucking years now. We look back at it now and we've probably started getting close at like 13, 14. Real tight.
You're getting on towards 10 years.
We're in DT, remember?
We were speaking about this the other day at the pub, weren't we? Like, year 8 DT.
And we've been tight since then, and it's now, you get to a point when you've been tight with someone so long, you can really, like, we look down at this and we sit and stuff, and there's been episodes and stuff where we've just scrapped some bits. Because I've been, like, we've both just said, like, this bit's not good enough, or like, I don't think this is good enough. It's normally me saying it because I'm like really anal about it all, but like, we're very much, it's nice to be able to have that relationship with someone who you're being creative with and in this in a creative world with. I know ours is very different to yours, but it's still having that.
It's still similar. It's easy when you're with someone and things are going well. It's so easy to go, that's great, but it's the hardest thing is to be someone and trust them to go, look, this isn't good enough.
Like, you don't need yes men, do you? You need someone who's going to turn around and say, Cam, what the fuck is that? Do you know what I mean?
Will is perfect for that for me. I don't do it as much with him, but he's so good at being like, he's really critical and stuff sometimes, and it's really good. You need that. You need someone to go, look, you can do better.
In your corner, and it is, because it is like a coach in a sense, like, because obviously I can be really pedantic, but also at the same time, like, Joe can be like, no, actually, mate, that is good enough. And I think even having someone around you that's like, no, I know you want that to be fucking on the nose, but at this moment in time, we can't get it on the nose, but that's as close as we're going to get right now. So actually, it's still good enough. We still need to go with it.
Definitely.
And that's when you're writing it with Will and stuff. Like, what's the best one that you've ever felt like? Is it something that's coming up, or is it something you've already written? Do you feel like there's been something where you're really proud of the process that you two have made?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think. I mean, we're getting a lot better. I think, and noticeably for us in the last 3 months, we've got way better at writing because, especially with our producer, we built such a relationship where, we always go in and work on stuff before we go and record. Like probably a week before, we always go in and do a writing day. We always call it. But I mean, even stuff like, it's tough because you don't really know. Everything takes longer than you think. Things come quite quickly, and then there's a point where they stop. And then it takes a couple of months to really get it right, which is the tough thing with this year. We're having to really speed up that process, and it has to be quick. And that's why we're getting better. We have to be productive. You can't spend an afternoon writing where you don't do anything. You have to spend the time. But I mean, Love Me to Death I knew Love Me to Death would be good.
That's a fucking brilliant tune.
Thanks, man. I said this to you in the pub before, like, that song is fucking...
Cheers, man,
That is, like, I heard it and, like, we both... yes, there it is. Cheers, I mean, that is it.
I'll tell you what, there's one thing about that track that I really want to ask you is, when Annie Mac played it on her show, did you hear it? Because that's fucking... in any industry, like, that is fucking unreal. For Annie Mac, for someone who's she's so top tier in the radio presenters and stuff, like, she's not just your local one that's interested in it. She's like the fucking
it's like
bollock.
Joe Rogan shouting us out.
Like
literally, do you know what I mean?
Or True Geordie or something like that. It's the fucking bollocks of what you can get. And at that point, where were you lot when you found out that? When you found out?
We spoke about this, didn't we? Tell the story.
Radio 1 and stuff, like, obviously it's unbelievable to think.
Yeah, it's unreal.
The crazy thing about this year as well is so many ticks have been, done. Like, stuff I could have dreamed of, like getting as an indie band playing on Annie Mac is something you really do dream of. It is crazy.
Yeah.
But every single Radio 1 play we've ever got, I've never known until it's happened. Every single one, which is nuts to think.
That's unreal.
Like the Annie Mac one, I was with Jake on the way back. We have like a 5-a-side football thing we do on Mondays, and I was literally on driving back from that, and I was driving, and we'll Jake just went, oh yeah, We'll just text me, so I'll just let you know Annie Mac's played you. And I was like,
just so you know, boys.
Shit, But it is really that, like, the first time we got heard on Radio 1, we got played on Radio 1, I got a call from my friend, and she told me that her boyfriend, he was just driving back from work and he heard us, and I was like,
I don't believe you.
It's such a quick thing. It's a really quick moment.
How did that feel? Because that must have been so like almost like, was it like a relief, or were you like were you semi expecting it because of how good that track is to get some recognition?
I mean, the frustrating thing has been because of how that got the Radio 1 stuff. It's frustrating that you slightly when we got like the first Radio 1 play, it wasn't the same as getting the second one. Which is frustrating.
It's like your first high, isn't it?
Yeah, and you do. It's hard because you want to take it in as much, but you don't, and you want it more. But the more you get it, the more you should expect it. So it's frustrating, and we're learning to take. And I mean, the Animac one was different. That's
a different. Type
we did just complete that. That blew me away a little bit. But
you start to think, why are these songs not being played on Radio 1? And why is? Do you know what I mean? Like it starts to.
I mean, it's nuts. Like to think where we were at the start of the year to now.
Mate.
It is crazy.
But I remember, and I said to you, like, I remember seeing you in like December or January at a party, and you being like, what's going on with the band and all that, and you being like, we're releasing a single every month this year, and I was like, if you boys can do that, like it will fly. And then it was like 2 weeks later, Love Me to Death drops, and then it's like, and you've been doing that and consistently dropping your singles.
What was your
and like
first...
the growth is mad.
the growth is unreal.
Like from that,
it is unreal. What was your first Radio 1 play like when? Because you were saying about that first high, that first like.
The first Radio 1 play was I really really vividly remember it. I was at home, and I've done it, but Kieran Wrenchman, he was living at ours at the time, and him, my brother, and one of our best mates Nick were out, and I don't know where they were, but I think they were at a football game or something watching Spurs, and I was at home, and then they came home. I just found out, and they would literally came out 10 minutes later, and I called Will to be like, yo, I was like, we just got played on Radio 1, and he was like, cool, nice. I found out after that, that he told me, like, when I found out we got played on Radio 1, Kieran came back, and we were like, well, we just got,
you're gonna get a
we've got nailed, we were like, celebrate, me and him celebrate on our own in my house, and Will celebrate by having a slice of cheesecake, apparently. That is true.
I fucking love that.
I'll tell you what, Will is one of my favourite characters that I've ever met in general.
He's just my hero.
We will have you both on at some point as soon as we can. So I would have loved
you gotta
to
get
have
him
you
drunk.
both.
You have to get him drunk.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll tell you what, we're doing okay with you to start with, so I think.
But I was saying when I saw you about like Will, and he'd be one of those people where like he might not say loads, but then he says something and it's like. Everyone laughs, and it's like I'd love to just have him here and be like. It just
I remember. Me and Will used to sit next to each other on. We were in IT together with some fucking old geezer in like year 7, and he like left because he like retired. He was one of them fucking
that scary
tall, skinny, scary cunt.
He was terrifying.
He looked like he looked semi like the teacher from Beano if he'd aged with the magazine.
He used to make you line up.
I don't know who he was, but I can totally imagine who he is.
We used to get you in 3 lines with chairs in front of the
So weird guy. But me and Will used to sit next to each other, and there was a conversation I remember so vividly, and I don't know whether I should be putting it out there or not.
It is what it
is. But it is. I'm started, so I'm gonna finish. And we were talking about whether you could like colour dye your cum and like
you're right, you shouldn't have said it.
But I remember so vividly how like strange that conversation was like how strange it was, but yet it was so easily spoken about.
Will was that sort of person. He's really, you think he'd be hard to talk to when you talk to him.
He's not. Once you start going with him, he's so brilliant.
I feel so privileged having him as my mate. Like when I think of him, like, and you know how he's crazy, he's my mate. And me and Will always talk about how we're proud of ourselves, like for doing what we've done so far.
God, as you
should be. Something like Will, he's so clever. Like, he was going to do architecture at uni.
I remember him
to go and do this band or whatever. So it's like,
just mad.
I mean, I didn't have them sort of prospects. So I'm just it didn't really matter that much.
What would you have done if you weren't being in a band? Like, what would you be?
I don't know. I mean, if it was now, it'd be different as to then. If I was 18 and I didn't have the band at all, I'd have probably gone uni and done. I don't know. I'd have gone uni. I would have gone, but I don't know what I'd have done. I'm so glad I didn't go now though. Fuck that. Like,
I wish I hadn't have gone.
Really?
No. The one thing
that was a waste of 3 years.
It was a waste of fucking money. I got my. The only thing that I am grateful for is the experiences I had and the people I met. I wouldn't be doing
which
this.
Is half priceless in itself.
Well, that is, and that's what it, and that's the only thing.
Really.
Like, I'm never going to do any. I studied in philosophy. I majored in philosophy, and I won't ever do philosophy again as a thing because it won't be anything I won't do a master in it. I won't I'm never going to write a fucking philosophy book, am I? Like, do you know what I mean? So
can't spell.
I was gonna say,
it's hard it looks, right?
I was gonna say, how I came out with a 2 word, fuck knows. I'm thick as big shit, really. But like, the people that I met, so like the reason that I started doing podcasts and stuff was because I was on a radio show in my first year,
Banging.
and that's when like when I then got interested and started buying the equipment, and that was just sheerly through that.
And you might not have had that.
And I might not have ever had.
true.
I've always said about being on radio and being in podcasts and being on some form of like character.
You'd be great, yeah. You'd
but
be
like
really good.
in a sense, like I wouldn't have got that if I hadn't gone to uni. I wouldn't have had the experience.
That's
I think
the
that's the
thing.
only thing that I can say from university is worth it. Is your experiences.
And you could look at yourself in 2 years' time ago. That was probably the only good thing I learned.
Yeah,
In that whole time, so
genuinely.
it might come out as the biggest thing you ever
and I
learned
think,
about yourself.
and I think even now, I still go like to this fucking day. Like I've graduated this year, and straight away I realised philosophy. Yeah, I fucking hated it. I was going to drop out after first year.
Really?
Yeah. And I got halfway through second year, and I was like thinking about it. Got halfway through second year, and Mum was like, "Well, you're over halfway now."
Yeah, just
Yeah,
finished.
and
I
also-
do remember it in
And I
second year
remember
being a
it
bit like.
clear as fucking
Yeah,
day,
touch
and I
and
was
go
like,
and-
well, I'm gonna fucking finish it now.
Just get it done.
So like, I might as well get it done because end of the day, I don't know what else to do.
So you might as well
and
have it.
I've got my bit of paper, and actually, I'm glad my mum made me finish
Yeah,
it because
yeah.
I might not have gone back to uni, and I might
Yeah,
never
yeah.
have got that degree. So it's
does
one of
make
the
a
ones where,
difference.
yeah. And now I look back at it and I go, actually, yeah, I know I didn't like my course, and I know that but the university I went to was fucking unreal,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
unreal
yeah.
people, with unreal experiences.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
one thing.
It is
like,
priceless. It is. It's tough to know at the time what you're supposed to do, but
God, yeah.
when you come out of it with that sort of experience and that sort of decision you sort of made, what you want to do that.
How
like,
did you
it's-
make that decision for you though? Because obviously school are very. Because we all went sixth form. We did A levels.
You didn't get on like at school for you. Like,
Oh,
give a
man.
summary like how you found it, because you're a funny one. Because you're a really smart lad, and I feel like
Well-
at times you did really well in school, and then at times it like
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we were in the same classes for
Yeah,
some
yeah,
for
yeah.
maths and things like that.
I was sort of one of those who was all right. I could get through it. I could have done quite all right, and I did all right. But I remember in sixth form getting pulled out by Mr. Keane, and because I was looking for this was before the first EP, and he pulled me out and he told me that if I carried on band stuff, I'd never do anything. And he told me that to me, and I was like, oh, man, like.
I'll tell you what,
mean-
I always had reins for him, but what a cunt.
I did. I mean, to
Nah.
be fair, in the end, I can understand because he didn't know what it was, and this is the thing with everyone. I feel like it feels like a little secret you have when you're coming out with this sort of thing. No one really knows the sort of ability you have.
Coming
Because
out
at the,
as a
time,
singer.
at the time, like you back yourself, and you're like, and I'm like, well, no, that backs me yet, and that's fine. But
yeah.
at the time, I had to pick a bit of our backup about it. But then we played that Islington 02 show when we were
That
in
was
school, which was like
mega.
18. Yeah,
That
which was
was
crazy.
huge.
Um,
I was gutted I didn't go to that. There
Oh,
was a
mate,
couple of there was a
yeah,
couple
yeah.
of things that like reasons I didn't go, but I was one of them things where I wish now that I hadn't have let the things that were going on at the
Yeah,
time
yeah.
get
I mean-
almost overcomplicated
Yeah,
for me.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
that would have been an experience that I just wish I'd
it
been
was
involved
nuts.
in.
Yeah, I mean, and then after that, we were on tour that week, and we didn't go to school for a week and a half, whatever. And he pulled me into his class after, and I was like, I'm about to get ball bagged, I'm about to get done in. And then he went, oh, mate, don't worry about your coursework. Don't worry about anything. Just carry on with the band, man. He was like, I'm sorry. I want you to carry on.
Oh,
and that
fair
really,
fucks.
and that
Which
really
is
big
stuck with me.
respect.
Yeah, and
Big
that's the only reason I
respect,
passed English,
actually.
because
Yeah.
he let me do my coursework
Yeah,
later and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
So,
I take
yeah.
back
Oh, no.
calling
Yeah.
him a cunt.
I was gonna say, as soon as you said that, I was like, wait till the end of the story, because I've heard that before.
At the time, I thought,
Sorry,
I was
Mr.
like,
King.
you little twat, but
But as you say, it's understandable to go through that process of being like, if you're a teacher and you're looking at someone like you who like
totally.
he could see has potential, like you
Oh my
could
God,
do
yeah,
whatever
because
you
you
wanted
had
to do.
so
You get
much
a go uni,
potential. Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's thinking he's not turned to school for a week. Like, what is he
Yeah.
doing?
And-
But then he sees that creativity.
And at the time, like, what were we doing? We weren't doing anything. We were just,
And
I was
it-
just
yeah, yeah,
not
it's
doing
just-
work at school, and I was just not turning up to lessons. So
And like you, it's that.
I get it. I do understand it, but I think
Yeah.
that I would like to have had. What I'd like to see more is a bit more of a support for people who do want to do these things.
Other
I
things.
would love to see like a bit more of a support for them, because it isn't there at all. It
I know-
isn't.
no, it's not,
People
and
who want to do like something else.
And I think that's the thing, because we're in a different era of like, yeah, it was with music. It's one of the things that's always been around like that. Like even to like my dad's
Imagine
era.
if like your teacher would be a YouTuber, man, like 10 years
yeah,
ago.
that's
Like,
what
now
all kids
it's
are doing
crazy.
now, though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
Like,
crazy.
It's the most
Even-
common answer for what kids want to be when they
and
grow up
even
as a
so,
YouTuber.
like,
Really?
Yeah, most
it's
common
so
answer.
mad now, because that for me, like musician, I can understand them. That's been something that teachers have
It has
It's
battled
always
with.
been
yeah,
around.
It's always been
yeah.
around, but whereas like if I'd have turned around to fucking, I don't know, like Mr. Hopkins, our philosophy
yeah.
teacher,
What
and I
legend.
turned around to him and I went, what was that?
What a legend.
Yeah, fucking,
He's a legend.
fucking geezer. But if I turned around to him and went, I want to be a podcaster, he would have
Yeah,
been
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But there is some teachers that would have turned to me and gone, what the fuck are you doing?
I-
Or if I was
yeah.
like, I want to create content online. I want to create like, no, I don't really want like. I'd take being a YouTuber. I don't want to be a YouTuber. I want to be more than that. But I think if you turn around to a teacher then, even though for us, when was it 5 years ago, pretty much when we finished school properly.
That's mad, isn't it?
It's crazy to think about.
It's terrifying, isn't it?
But if we'd have said that to them then,
it's true.
it's a completely different fucking outlook on it because they're like, oh well, you're getting
We'll go
A's
uni.
and B's.
Yeah,
You should
yeah.
be going uni. You should be going.
Did
uni.
you find that as a battle in your own head at all?
Oh, mate, yeah. Yes, totally. The thing you've got to... I learned now is like you just got to back yourself. Like no one else is gonna back me, so I've got to back myself. And without a band, I've been battling this whole same battle since we were 16. Like, people told us to do covers. We said no, we don't do covers.
Yeah.
People told me to go uni instead and then do it after. I said no, I'm not going to do that. So, and I mean, we'll talk about it all the time. That's just the proudest thing I feel of us.
Do you
like,
feel
we
a bit
really...
of redemption, like when you get then a radio player and you're like, fuck you, like
Yeah,
we did it actually, like
I do a little bit. I mean, I think like there's no one who's really actively against us, but I do feel a little bit.
But
of,
like
I know what you mean. I do feel I back
people
up a little
have
bit.
people want you to do well, and sometimes that leads to people saying, go down the uni route or don't do this because they don't want you to like put your egg to the basket.
Definitely.
But you can almost, as you say, like prove yourself and be like, I didn't go to uni, but I'm fucking smashing it.
Yeah,
And,
I think the thing especially, I just feel well proud of like how many times we could have stopped. We could have stopped so many times, and we really easily could have quit. But I do feel really, even where we've got now, I feel well proud of us.
Even
Like,
if nothing else ever happened.
yeah, if nothing
like,
else, if we stopped tomorrow, I'd feel really, really proud of where we got. But I mean, we are nowhere near done yet. But it's nice to be like, you know, we got told by almost every member of authority I've ever come across. I got told I'd never be anything.
Of course, yeah.
And I think
it's
that's
cool.
It's sick. It is sick. And I think on the trajectory that you lot as a band are going, and the way you lot are like, because even like for this single, it's not had many mega like Radio 1 players or anything like with this help, but it's still sat at
30k streams in 30 days as you put on social media today.
That
is unreal
for a band of a social media following on like Instagrammers, like
it's not
you've got
bad.
what
It's
1,500 followers, like that is fucking unreal to be having that support on your music.
I think the luckiest thing with the latest single that we were not panicking about, but because obviously our tunes are mad eclectic, it is totally one of the other. So we were like, shit, if they don't like the rocky stuff, we're
and
gonna
I did when we spoke about Help and like we featured it on the podcast, and I said like it did take balls because to me, and I said like, and I literally said at the time, right, like, but if that was me, like we did Love You to Death, I'd be like, let's just do that, like we'll tweak it a bit, we'll do a similar song, let's just do it. Help's like, you did Where's My Youth Gone and did really well, and then it's like this is like a completely different genre, but you've just gone for it. But that's like your instincts are always right in that sense.
Yeah.
I think the thing with that is especially like you say when Love Me to Death did all right, and Love Me to Death didn't do amazing straight. It did take time.
Slow burn, wasn't it?
Obviously now you look at it and go, oh, it's on this much, whether it's on, but at the time it didn't do it amazing. It was the Radio 1 player that really helped out and stuff, but obviously we could have gone, let's do that again, but I physically couldn't do that. Like I think we get asked a lot in interviews and stuff like, is it purposeful how eclectic everything is, and it's not at all. It is our songs.
I was gonna say, do you think right we've done that now, let's do a punkier song, or is it just that's the way that help like comes out?
It's just the way I mean, we for the first 4 or 5 songs we knew the sort of songs that were going to be on it, and we did sort of half purposely think, well, let's go indie, rock, acoustic, like poppy, punky. I like the idea of keeping people guessing, because for me personally, the bands I like, I don't want to know what they're going to bring out next.
It just shows your talent though, and like I've always said, man. No, it does, and like I've always given it on the podcast as one of my biggest things I look at for a band if they're any good or not. It's like, even if they've only got like 3 songs, if they're all the same, I'm like, okay, they're good, but like meh. But when a band comes out and they're like, and like I shared like that Bilk song the other day, the track of that day, because they're really, really punky band, and then that In Your Car's like, it's like an acoustic melodic song, and I'm like, oh, like it just shows the talent when you can just like dip in and out of genres.
I think the thing for me especially is like when Love Me to Death came to do really well, like we had 2 choices. We could go, well, let's do that again, or for me, I just like the idea of going, well, if you like that, then let's try
something else. Let me stretch my legs a little bit.
I just want to see how far I can push it. I think that's how we're showing we got better. Like our punkier songs have got punkier, and our pop songs got poppier, and our acoustic songs got more acoustic.
You're doing them all well.
I think that's the thing. We haven't got crazy that many genres, but I think we're just getting better and better. And I want to do hip hop songs. I want to do really really poppy songs. I want to really push it wider and wider.
I like that a lot. When you were, because obviously this help's it's almost a bit grungy with it.
It is, yeah.
And I like that. Is that from that 90s spin that you've taken? Is that 90s grunge that you were talking about earlier, where you were really really involved? Does that come from that influence?
Yeah, I mean, yes, that is where my rock influence comes from. That 90s thing, that whole the Pearl Jam.
90s is better than 1000. Thank you.
That was a great episode though. It was
Thank
a really
you.
good episode.
Thank you. Wait until we've had a message. Sorry to interrupt. We've had a message from the lad from Baby Lung, and he wants to fucking back my corner.
Really?
So actually, we're going again. We're going again.
Right, we're gonna have to get you into back me.
I tell you, we're going again. You wait. We're gonna fucking have you.
There's nothing you can say to change my mind, mate.
We're gonna have you.
Sorry, carry on.
No, yeah, but it's that punky thing. I mean, I really distinctly remember when I made Help. It was, I remember waking up and I thought, I want to do a song with, like, we haven't got a song that's that pace, like, and I really wanted something like that. And then that song was written in an hour. I made that whole thing in an hour, and I remember saying it to Will, and I knew Will would like it. I was like, anything heavy in guitar, I knew Will would quite like it. So I sent that to Will when he was down for it, and we made it together. And we pieced it a little bit, and that was pretty much it. And the songs don't always happen that quickly. But
when you were doing that out, like, so obviously an hour long song's fucking. It's almost a little bit unheard of. It's a rarity in a sense.
It's quite quick,
It is quick. When you're sat there, how does that process work for you? Like, are you in your room? Do you have all your equipment out, and you're just kind of like, right, I feel like I need this going, and you're like, nailed, and then go through.
It's strange because it is different every time. It is, but I'm getting better, and this is the thing I'm learning. Our producer, I feel like he's a bit of a messiah and teaches us these sort of stuff. But you have to learn to be, when you're in my sort of thing I'm doing, is you have to learn. You can't wait for that moment to strike.
No,
you can't. You have to learn how to create it and spark it. Because if I waited for the moment to strike, I'd write 2 songs every 4 months or something. Like you have to learn how to create it in yourself. So I think whenever I'm coming to a song now, sometimes I can feel it. Sometimes I can just feel the whole thing, what I'm looking for. Like Help Out, I knew when I woke up that morning, I remember knowing that I want that really punky, really simple guitar riff and a vocal leading it through the whole way with a really quite simple chorus. So I knew, but I mean, Love Me to Death took us a long time to get right.
How long did that take you then when you were writing through
mate, it took. I vividly remember that. I would come to Will, and before this lockdown, obviously all the coronavirus stuff happened, I would be around Will's every day, pretty much every single day, and we'd be writing. And I remember going to him, and I had about 5 tunes, like 5 just on guitar, 5 like half done, some all the way done, some little ideas, some just chord patterns, some riffs, but 5 ideas, and Love Me to Death was one of them, and it was the one with the least. It was just the chord thing, the dum dum dum.
It's so iconic now to me. Like when I hear it,
but at the time I was really like, nah. Every idea I brought to him, I was like, nah, not really. And I remember I played a couple to Will, a few ideas, and I played that, and Will went, oh wait, and then he's got a little electric drum kit in the room we practice him, and he literally went to the drums and went dum dum ka boom boom ka. And then suddenly I was like, I know exactly what that song is. And then from then it was really quick. It was and then I remember before, me and Will used to work in the same pub, and we used to have these really weird songwriting sessions, like an hour before we go work, and I'd work and stuff. And I remember literally before walking out the door, I was like, it needs a no, and then suddenly I got that keyboard part, and then that just stuck.
Fucking
and then
nailed.
from then it was literally the whole thing really was very. It's
came
adapted,
together.
but it really from that. And that's the thing with me with songwriting is. You do that moment. If you can spark that moment where you go, I know what that is.
Yeah.
That's for me where it is. I've got better at creating it more and more often, but. Yeah, like Help Out. As soon as I realised what it was, it's quick. It's quick.
As soon as it found its way.
It's taken me ages, and I've got too short an attention span. For it to take me to, I can't wait for it.
ADHD sort of thing.
Oh mate, that's why our songs are different.
Yeah,
it is wide completely because I can't do 3 indie songs in front. Right.
Because I think I love that as well. Because I think that is part of having a creative mind is being partially like that.
It's having that motor going, and
it's having that motor going at all times. Because
Totally,
I've had even with the thing that we've been talking about for episode 20 and the stuff we've got in the works for that, I thought of that straight.
I actually know what this is going.
I had that thought one fucking night, and I was like, I literally was laying in bed, and someone had put a comment on something, and I was like, and it sparked me, and I was like, shit. So I had to get my notepad out at like it's like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, let's fucking scribble something down so I don't forget it in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's like always having that going because you don't. to be creative in that sense, you can't switch off because there's no way that you know that you're not the next 5 minutes. Something new's going to come to you. It's always moving.
I mean, I'm sure people do it in different ways, but for me, that's just the way it is. It is always, and I like this afternoon where I was working on something completely different. Yeah. And that's how it usually at the moment I have these like 2 week on, 2 week off periods where I'll think I'm the worst songwriter in the world and I will never write a song again. Then all of a sudden I'll write a song a day for 2 weeks or something.
This is number one.
It does happen, honestly, it does happen to me like that. And it's the same when I record. I have this self doubt thing where I'll start recording the vocal and I'll be like, I can't sing, I just can't sing. And then by the end I come to sing I'm pretty happy and proud of, but
I like that. I think that comes with a lot of it as well, because you're doing it so much. There's going to be bits you kind of, it's almost like what we were saying earlier about the first high of getting that Radio 1 play. It's the same thing of like when you've created something you think, fuck, that's the bollocks.
Yeah,
and then it doesn't quite fulfill it the same way.
If I did like a Love Me to Death and then a Love Me to Death 2, I'd just be like, well, but I want to do that, and then I want to go and do a hip hop song. I want to go and do a pop song, and that they're maybe two sides I haven't come out as much.
I'm really interested though, and it's like it's a side of this sort of stuff that I've really wanted to bring up before that I think is underappreciated. Is what you were saying about your producer, because like to me, then like you've got all these ideas going on, and like is that do you sort of go to them with the like almost a finished product and they tune it, or are they involved in the writing? Because I know your producer's really big for you.
Our producer, he's literally like our fifth member. But I mean, me, Will, and him have got a really great relationship. We've really it took really years. Cool. Like, he was there for Sick People Are Weird, so it's taken us years to get it. And that's the thing. These relationships do take a long time to get. But for him, how we work now at the moment, how we're working is me or Will will have something. I mean, like say, just take Hello for example. I'll make the whole song in however long, and I'll go to him like a song there, and he'll go, okay, cool, and then we'll touch little bits, and we'll come and we'll make the whole song pretty much through. And that's the thing. Normally, the songs have to go through the both of us. They have to. There will never be a song ever that comes out that hasn't gone through and evolved through both of us. So that happens there. Then we'll take it to the studio, and we'll go. And because obviously we're doing the song a month now, it's quick. It's really quick. So on the song that's coming out on next Friday, we're already in the studio. Big up next Friday. But like we're already I'm in the studio now finishing the next one. So it's really, really quick how it works. So we'll go in there and we'll do. Normally when we finish the single before, we'll tell him the idea for the next one, and then we'll do a songwriting session. And he's amazing. Mark Can, Lodge Studio, shout out if anyone wants to go there.
Big shout out.
He's honestly, anyone wants anything done, he's a legend. But for us, he's just amazing because he'll be like, any little ideas, he'll just be able to just tell you exactly what you need to do with it. And because he's an objective opinion, he's not someone who's going to be singing them lyrics or playing that guitar riff or whatever. So like Where's My Youth Gone's a really good example. Yeah. Because you know the wide-eyed, that one, that was a pre-chorus. That used to be the bridge. And he went, that's got to be the pre-chorus. He said that has to come before both the choruses. And then suddenly you go, yeah, you're right.
It's the experience as well.
It's mad influence on the song, isn't it? And
that changes, and that song would have been so much worse if we had just done what we thought.
But I think that's such, like, people, I think a lot of, like, music fans, I mean, a lot of people do appreciate them, but a lot of people listen to songs and don't realise that there's that
so much
that influence that a producer has. And, like, a lot of up-and-coming bands now, I think it's a really big thing of finding the right producer to take you to that next level. Because I think you can be genius, you can write really good songs and really good lyrics, but, like, until, say, someone with that experience can come in and say, you just need to tone that down and shift this bit here and then tweak that up and then write that bit, and you're like, oh my god, like that now that song sounds 10 times
like
better.
It sounds like it's almost like having a coach. Like we've all played sport, we've all played sport for years, and like having that person who's like, you should have done that on that cut.
Yeah,
like,
it is, isn't it?
Like I've obviously played basketball, so like it's one of the things, obviously. But like having that person to be like, look, you've kind of like, you should have done this, or you should have done that, or like.
But you can have the talent, but you need someone saying like, this is exactly how to use it, and that's. I feel like that's what. I mean, I don't know, but that's how a producer feels.
You need someone you believe in, and someone who believes in you as well. Like with our producer, like he knows exactly what we want to do. Like he knows what we're trying to do. So
it's a real personal thing.
He's not doing something to try and make himself look better or anything. Yeah. So when he goes to us, look, that's just a rubbish chorus. It's just got to be better. Like for the song that's coming out Halfway House on Friday, like there was a bridge that he was like, it's just got to be better. And then you just go, cool. And we've got so much better now. We're working through things where now we'll go for a half day of songwriting and we'll remake the whole song as good as it could be.
Can you walk us through your like the next single that's coming out then? Like using it like like a radio promo. If we were going to like on the radio, you know, when they always go, they're always like, "Oh, so you've got a new single coming out this week? Could you talk us through it?"
So the next song is I made in Leicester when we were in Leicester with the lockdown stuff, and it's just a bit of an ode to being away from home. It's a bit of a it's not a homesick song as such, but it's talking about, you know, moving on and moving out and the guilt of wanting to be at home and stuff. And I remember we made it where the day after we were in the studio, because we were in the studio doing Help, and Fred, our guitarist, had this little riff. He was like dum ba bum ba ba da do da 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 do dun da 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 do, and I was like, that's banging, that's well cool. And then literally we're like, let's do that when we get back. And we got back, and I went, just give me a minute, and then you get the chorus, and it was dum dum da 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 no na 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 no, and I was like, okay, that's the chorus, and that's it. Let's not touch that now. And then we spent 2 weeks playing that chorus through, just like loving that chorus, and then not going, shit, we need a verse or something.
Add to this.
There should be something else that happens as well. And it took me a couple of weeks, and then I remember we were picking my mate Kieran Renchman from the airport. And I'd been trying to find this chorus for ages, and I suddenly just literally 5 minutes before we were leaving, I just went dum 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 bum, and I was like, shit, that's it. And then because we're in the house all together, I so easily could go, is that right? And then went, that's really cool. I was like, banging. So I literally 10 minutes before we leave, I went and recorded that in my room, made that, and then came back and I pieced. And I feel like sometimes my job a little bit is to piece things to. So if someone comes to me with
your own like producer type
if someone comes to me with like a chord pattern or a riff or something, I have to go, okay, well, what is that? And I feel I'm quite alright at putting things together, so I put it together, and then that was literally it, and then that was the song. But and then we went in the studio, we made the bridge was the thing that needed the most work, but except from that, it stayed the same. And the cool thing is just with production wise is that we're getting more interested in that. And there's stuff production on this that we've never really tried before. There's only little stuff, but it's really exciting to try and do.
Can you give us like compared to your other releases, is it a grungier one? Is it a slower one? Is it?
It's hard to.
You don't want to give too much away.
I mean, the only way I'll explain it is, it's hard to tell. The song that I was really, I was like, that chorus really reminds me of that is Stand by Eminem.
Yeah.
That sort of chorus, it sounds like it should be acoustic, but it's not at all.
Quite dark as well.
Quite dark, a bit of bounce to it, quite a melodic thing. So chorus is quite like that. I mean, the verses are quite I don't know how to describe it. It's difficult. I mean, this song is a weird category to put his.
I'm really looking forward to it now.
I really like. I mean, I reckon you lads will like the next one more. One after the more, I reckon. Yeah, that's a bit more. I reckon you'll like that more.
There's so much coming out from Garden Boys. Come on, look at this.
This one is like I think this one is you have your headphones on, drinking or smoking in the night,
a bit more somber almost.
Yeah, I think this one. If you like this sort of thing, you'll enjoy it. But
okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm well excited for it. I think the next 2 singles are. I'm really, really excited.
We can't
wait,
mate.
It's going to be brilliant. So that'll be out next Friday. So
the Friday after
this comes out Tuesday.
Yeah, so this comes out on Tuesday. So on Friday, Garden have got their new release out, and that's what, Halfway House.
Halfway House
is going to be fucking massive. Yeah, check it out.
I'm excited.
Check it out. I want to change the tone up for a little bit now on this interview because we spoke a lot about. Cheers, Chris.
Because we're running out of time.
I want to check. I want to check you on our question that we've decided that we're going to ask fucking everyone.
I hate this question.
And I'm going to set the scene because everyone can see what cans are on your table. I want to set the scene. We're walking into a fucking boozer after this. That ain't fucking right. We're walking into a boozer after this and we're going to get a drink. What the fuck am I buying you?
Alright.
Go on, tell a story, Cam.
Let's be honest.
This is the thing.
Honest is key.
So I really like a dark fruit. I really do. I know. I'm going to be honest. I like it. If you're going spoons, £2 dark fruit. You can get them ales for like $1.40, which if you're really poor, you have to go and do. But for me,
not even really poor. By choice, I drink.
I wish I was hard and cool enough to go for the ales again. I was really not.
Mate,
really
it was just
hard,
so funny, like because we were in the pub the other week and we walked in and I was like, right, like I'll get the first round. Like, what do you want? And you literally looked at me and was like, I'm so sorry. He was like, I listened to your podcast and I know you drink like IPAs and ale stuff, and he was like, can I have a dark fruit? So I was like,
I mean, to be honest, my favourite drink, if I was as as much money as I could have.
Fucking hell, Cam! We're trying to be professional.
Yeah.
If I'd sorry, I don't know. It's not gone off. I think
Who
it's died.
messages you?
I think it's died. Yeah. Oh, it's probably Domino's or something. On the back. I'd love a white wine or prosecco. That's my favourite drink.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Wow.
What white wine? Have you got a specific?
Chardonnay's my favourite.
Yeah,
You're a
I like a dry white wine.
Any particular country?
The New Zealand ones are nice.
New Zealand
I'm not
Chardonnay?
too bothered about the ones, but I'm too poor to try and care about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like a prosecco's my favourite drink in the world.
Oh,
to
that's
be honest, which is
interesting.
really I know
I have
it's
a
not
lot of
cool.
times I've seen you the last couple of years. You have been like downing a bottle of prosecco.
I'll
Prosecco,
tell you,
that's the
hang
thing that's
on.
ruined me at gigs.
Let me
I
see what I've
can't-
got.
Have you got prosecco in there?
I actually might
Oh
do.
mate.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna
God.
see what I've got.
You're definitely saying this.
I can't. I can't. I'm just going to drive home and have it.
Okay, well, right, while he's sorting that out, I'm interested in a little bit more quickly while we're doing this because no run out of time about the house in Leicester,
Yes.
about how that came about and what that was like living
Dude,
with
yeah.
the band. Because to me, that's the dream, really.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously lockdown happened, and we just found out this opportunity to go to Leicester and live in Tom's house, which is like a 6-bedroom house. And we just were like, fuck.
So
let's
he's
just
at
go.
uni there,
He's
is
at
he?
uni there, yeah,
Right.
and everyone else has moved out. So we're like, we can just move in.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, let's just go.
Let's
then.
just
and
do
then we it. literally just went. All of it. We were in the house for 2.5 months, and it was just honestly, it was the most fun time. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, like. Obviously, you get on with everyone, but when you live together, you really find
It's
out.
a
And there
whole
was
different
literally-
level, isn't it?
It sounds so cringy. Fucking hell. What's that?
Not quite prosecco.
Oh,
like
mate.
Carver.
Oh, I rate a carver
does the job.
anyway. I love a little glass carver.
You'd like a
Pop
glass?
it.
I love a glass carver, mate.
Shall we pop it?
Go on, pop it up.
Which one do you want? We've
Is it really professional? I'll go for a week.
so
quickly.
from-
Yeah, go
Is
for
that
it.
okay?
Yeah,
Go for
mate,
it.
yeah. So we'll
Should
go
we
for a
pop-
piss.
Nice.
I'll jump in that chair. We'll pop a
Thanks,
carver.
man.
We'll pop a carver. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be. I don't know what
I
we're
mean, we're taking a quick break.
I mean, I don't know how you do this break thing.
Well, we just stop it and then we'll just.
Well, do you want? Should we just chat?
Yeah, we can do. We'll
Yeah.
just see how it goes. We can always cut out.
I'll jump in here. Yeah.
Which one we going
I'll jump in here. I don't know what do you fancy?
for? Why is this one pink?
Because it's rosé, mate.
Oh, no.
Do you want to go for this one?
Yeah.
I don't fucking drink stuff, so I won't be.
Nah, I don't like the rosé stuff.
I won't be partaking.
Mind the cameras.
Minor cameras,
Are
okay.
you okay to open it?
Yeah, bruv, I've worked in a bar since I was about fucking 12. I can actually tell a lie, I don't even know where the flap is.
There you go.
We're right, we've got
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
We've got it.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Oh, boy, I fucking love Cam.
Yeah,
Such a
he's
good
good.
kid.
Like, it's interesting. It is really interesting to get an insight because, like, they are a particularly big band now. They're growing, and it's
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
this will be an interview that in a few years' time will be hard to get. So it's,
Yeah, and I think they're a band that I'm really appreciative of that we're so lucky enough
Yeah.
to know because
Yeah.
they're actually they really are. The artwork and the pieces that they bring out are to a level that is almost unbeknown by other bands.
unknown. Go on.
Other bands that are of that caliber and that
Yeah,
level
yeah,
because
yeah.
like the stuff that these lads are putting out, yes, I know it's not necessarily the normal stuff we start to talk about the whole more grungier stuff, but they're so eclectic with the
Yeah,
shit
they
they're
really
releasing and
are.
the way that Cam does his writing process and everything. Getting that little extra insight is something that I'm really
Yeah.
quite proud of. That
Yeah,
we're now
it's
actually giving it that extra. I don't know, that extra opening to the door of how they create their stuff.
It's well deserved because it's not like they've just like they're an average band that are banging tunes out. It's like these things have been thought about, they've been written, they've been created, and
Gotcha,
like
to
they're
another
genre
level.
jumping and they're hitting a quality that's so high, and it's just like it needs to be like
It's to a level of creative process that I didn't realise that these lads went
Yeah.
through themselves. I
Yeah.
thought I obviously knew that Cam was incredibly into it,
capable of it,
and capable. I knew that Jake, the guitarist, before Fred came and joined them, I knew that Jake was really capable of it because he'd released stuff in the past. But I have to admit, I didn't realise Will had almost the same vision. I didn't realise that from
such a creative force.
Yeah, I didn't realise he was such a creative force, but I'm glad we now know.
Yeah.
Because I thought of it, I didn't see the almost like the effect that he'd had on the band until now. That insight has really quite changed it for me for sure.
He's interesting.
For sure. Speak of the devil, he's back. No, Will's not here, but Cam is.
Oh, is it recording?
Yeah. No,
we just left it running.
Oh, nice.
Jump back in there. I'll get you a
back,
glass. Yeah.
See how cool I looked.
Yeah, no, we were actually being really quite horrible.
Oh, no.
Oh, Cam.
Oh my god, he just killed cameraman Chris.
You got to keep that cameraman Chris thing. That's really funny.
Yeah, it's funny,
I know,
isn't it?
cameraman Chris.
Let's
Cheers,
get it
mate.
levelled up for you again.
Nice. Thank you.
Let's get you a glass of the old. What pint is it?
Nah, I'll have a glass, please.
No, I don't think I've got any champagne.
Oh, no, you can give me a pint and I'll just have a bit of it. I'll just put it in my Strongwood glass if you want.
No. I've got.
Oh, cheers, mate.
Full of orange squash.
Go on.
Okay, yeah, right, we'll carry on then. So this house, give me a little idea. What time were you waking up in a house, a band house in Leicester?
I mean, to be honest, it was like... It was
Like, were you
mad.
getting up and like working on music together, or was it a case of almost like a bit of a holiday where you'd like be like jamming? And
It was like, well, we just sort of thought we'll just have 2 months. We're gonna be locking down 2-3 months. The country's gonna be locking down. It's like, okay, what can we do? And we just thought, if we get into a house together, we can just do anything. We can do videos. We can
Literally
do,
anything.
like we can do anything we want.
Yeah.
And so we were like, thank you very much.
A Prosecco carver in a Bud Light pint glass. Welcome to the Scratch Record
this is the Scratch
podcast.
Record podcast. Thank you very much, mate.
Do you want a beer, Joe?
Yeah, I'll have a Guinness, mate. Thank you.
So we were. So we said we got into the house and we just thought we're like let's just do what we want to do. So we didn't wake up every day and go, well, we need to work, we need to do writing. We just ended up doing whatever. But most days we would end up writing something or
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'd really loved about it was just every minute of every day you're spending your time with your best mates. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it.
I love that he does this.
If anyone can prove this works,
Yeah, can I
on
get
the
some
thing.
fact checking on this? Because he said some fat bloke on Twitter showed him it.
I don't believe it.
I
I mean,
don't
not
believe it.
directly to me. Look at- That's how a Guinness should settle.
I mean, he's not wrong. It is how a Guinness should look. Cam,
Yeah.
is that how a Guinness should look?
That is.
All that Guinness you drink when you're drinking your
Dark fruit
carver
settle
up.
like that.
I know dark fruit should not look. I reckon.
Good stuff. Well, I think to be fair, the times we're at, it might be a good time to move on to a few
Yeah, let's get
new
into it.
up and coming bands that we've been looking at. So, I mean,
going an hour already.
I know it
That's
goes
crazy quick,
mate,
innit?
I'm telling
Does
you,
go
yeah.
so quick, man.
Do you want? You can kick us off if you want, Cam. If you want to have a little
Man.
word, I know you got a band you want to talk about.
I was a little bit nervous about the whole band thing because I thought, well, I don't.
You hold quite a lot of responsibility, I think, as an up and coming band.
Yeah.
So
well,
like almost, it's a big choice, isn't it?
yeah,
But-
I thought I don't want to give anyone. I want to give someone to actually listen to and actually really
Yeah.
do. And it's not so much a band, so it's sort of cheating.
yeah, no, you can't.
no,
Artist
you can do
band,
artist,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm gonna pick someone called Alex Ebert,
yeah.
and so that's Alex and Ebert, who is an actual
Mate,
genius.
this is it.
Is
From
he
what
a
you were
local
telling me
boy?
earlier, no,
he's like a oh man, I can't.
he's from
describe
LA.
it. Yeah, it's really LA. So he's like a.
Wow.
He used to do sort of more acoustic-y, psychedelic stuff, but he's moved into more like, almost like trappy, like
Oh, wow, okay.
like rap sort of stuff, mate. He is
Almost a little bit little pee sort of vibes. Are we talking
sort
that way?
Sort of.
Okay.
It's hard to describe, mate. He's just too clever for me to try and describe.
Try and
Like,
yeah,
head
like, honestly,
round.
like, I'll give you a few. Broken Record by Alex Ebert and Gold by Alex Ebert. Are 2 songs you should listen to consecutively as well.
Yeah.
So you can see how different they are. But
You-
he is.
Telling me the story about his band and where that came from.
Oh right, yeah.
'cause
So he's in a band called Edward Sharp and Magnetic Zeros.
What a fucking name.
Great
that
name,
is.
yeah.
That's brilliant.
Which me and Jake, well, best mates Jake, we like religiously listen to this.
Yeah,
him
yeah.
and this band, like they are. I mean, Jake loves Alex Ebert more than I do, and I like he's
Kinda
just
put you
one of our
onto it.
messiahs. Yeah, he's an actual an actual music genius. But he's in a band called Edward Sharp and Magnetic Zeros, and he got that name apparently because he went to rehab for his heroin addiction, and he used to hallucinate. Alex Ebert used to hallucinate seeing a man called Edward Sharp. So when he came to making a
Fuck.
group name, he was like Edward Sharp. Magnetic
How
Zeros. What cool
mad
name that
is
is?
that? That's
it's cooler
so,
than fucking
like,
garden, isn't it?
yeah, where's that coming?
No,
He's sitting in your
bullshit,
garden.
like, come
Fucking
on.
hell. No, that is unreal. And like when we were looking at like his Spotify bio, and it's like psychedelic
Yeah.
indie rock rap,
I think
like
he's
pop jazz, and you're like, whoa,
The thing is,
like, it's
our
such
music sounds
creative.
nothing like his. I couldn't compare him to his. He's too good. I would never dare do that. But I think the thing I find so inspiring from him, I just love his lack of care of genre. I just don't. I love that. I love
But
it.
he's not
He's got
tied
such
to
a
a
He
free
box.
doesn't give a
spirit.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
like what's the point? Like we're a generation now that like we're a representation of it. We'd create as we consume. You know, I'd listen to Little Peep and Pearl Jam and Post Malone and Blue Nile, Michael Jackson, Prince, whatever. So it doesn't matter. So, and I just love that how he really does that. He really just makes any music he wants.
Can't put it in a box.
For me, that's the most interesting thing.
Yeah, and we were reading his dad was a physiotherapist and his mum was an actress in LA. And he got born into that. Like, you can just tell that family's just got like. It's all just so smart, and it's just created this. He
looks like
genius,
exactly how you think he'd look.
Yeah,
exactly the way you think right now he looks. How do you reckon?
Do you know who Paris is?
The city.
Paris.
No, he supported Post Malone for a lot of his gigs.
No.
He's got long hair.
Yeah.
He wears a lot of fishnet.
Yeah, so yeah.
He wears a lot of fishnet. He almost is very feminine in the sense of like he paints his nails, all that stuff, and he loves that. Like, doesn't want to tie himself to a gender. It's how I.
But young blood.
Almost
young blood,
but longer hair. Young blood with longer hair is how I imagine this.
Yeah,
that's cool.
He's a bit older than that.
Oh, is he?
He's not old, but he's like probably like 40.
He had like a ginger beard and hair.
Big hair, man. He is.
Mate, I'll show you after this.
Anyone I can have a pint with, I'd have a pint with.
Yeah,
he's just too clever.
That's interesting. Though. It's like a bit of a hero that like people like. It's because you talk, and like I know we both wanted to hear a lot about like your inspirations, in, like 90s, like grunge and all that, but like inspirations like that people would never have heard of.
The people I listen to most is the people you'd least expect me.
Yeah.
It's like I listen to Prince. The Blue Nile.
Fucking love Prince.
I love Prince. LCD Sound System.
I love LCD Sound System.
Like Bowie, like Pearl Jam. But yeah, like cause I think for me, I fall in love with songs more than I do record, like whole albums or something.
Yeah.
Because I'm like I say, I just got too much of a short attention span.
Yeah.
So, but I just love that idea of really feeling like you found someone new in every single song.
Yeah,
and that's such a crazy thing. I love, and that's where we're going. That is where we're going.
And
completely.
I think I like the idea to have that almost like exponential growth in a sense of it's so many different layers and levels.
Each song's a project,
exactly
in and of itself. It's not just about like a band, smash it. And I know like a lot of bands like Catfish, for example, get criticised for that by like they found a sound and then they just churn it out. Whereas like as you say, like each song being its own, like standing on its own as its own thing is an interesting way to go about it.
For me, that's where I'll always just be. I mean, naturally, I couldn't choose to do anything else.
Yeah,
like, I couldn't do anything else. But it's just that's the thing that's exciting for me. I want to do more pop songs. I want to do more hip hop songs. I want to do more rock songs. I want to do punky songs. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
I just find like I will get so bored so quickly.
Yeah,
like
it's exciting though. Say like for someone who is a fan, like. Not your next song could be fucking anything at this point. Do you know what I mean? Like it could sound. I can't
think you
even
two will like
picture it.
the one after more.
Yeah,
I reckon.
I'm excited for that.
Which is really good. I'm going into tomorrow to do that. To finish that off, which would be
Come.
I've got to finish the lyrics before I do it, but
yeah, you got time after this.
I've got a couple of hours, it'll be fine.
Cool. Right, El, have you got a band?
Go on.
Yes, I do. I'll get my
information out.
Well, I actually forgot it halfway through, and I have to ask Chris to get my piece of paper because I had no idea what I was going to say. I got to a point and I looked at Chris and I was so fucking panicked.
Cameraman Chris,
you should have mugged it up so much.
Cameraman Chris, sorry.
You should have written some ridiculous artists on there.
Yeah, cameraman Chris, because I got the bit of paper, I'd already written it all down, I just left it over there and I literally got that, when them moments where you're like, I ain't got fucking
This is how he turned up to school with a piece of paper all crumpled up and handing it in like that, and it's like been stood on and eaten by a dog.
Please don't do this for me.
And I'd still get I'll tell you what, and it'd still be a good fucking
bit. I thought you said I'd still get a D then.
Yeah, I'd still fail. But yeah, no, my band's actually the Out Charms,
big band.
which are a Doncaster rock and roll band,
Yeah.
and they are fucking unreal. They're very guitar heavy in a sense of not like grungy and like how you're talking, but in a sense of they have lovely fucking solos and stuff throughout the mix of things they're bringing.
I like what you were saying about solos last week, actually.
Oh yeah, mate,
sure,
guitar
mate.
solos. And Cam, where's the big heavy guitar
I'm not
solos?
good enough at guitar.
Come on.
Get Big Fred to do
Yeah,
it,
get
mate.
Fred on it.
he's good to be
Get him on it.
One day.
I tell you, but
guitar solo.
these Out Charms are fucking. They've got some brilliant singles. They're my favourite guitar solo that they put through is that "Can You Keep Up the Act?" and that's a fucking brilliant single they released actually quite a while ago. It's over a year old now, but that single that they put out with that, and the solo in the fucking middle of that, their C-section.
He's already spilling his
Are
prosecco.
Are you throwing your prosecco all over the
sorry.
guy?
He's gone. Cam's lost
Fucking
it.
hell!
It's going down like water.
Yeah.
So you wait till it gets a bit colder. I've just brought that out of the mystery box.
Yeah,
But go
the
on.
newest one, that who's making me smile, is it?
Yeah,
Or
it is.
Go on.
Who's making you smile?
You Smile.
That is
a
fucking
tune.
brilliant.
That's a
They
great
are-
song.
And they've got that. It's that 2007 Alex Turner-y voice.
Yeah, that's what we were saying before.
yeah, you mentioned that,
Which is
didn't you?
it's just classic. It
Yeah.
is just, it will just work.
And
that
for some
sort of
reason,
northern voice,
yeah,
and
it's got that ring to it that kind of sticks about with you, and it kind of hangs around, and for some reason makes it feel more slanged. That would be how I'd like describe it. It feels more slanged and more rough, and it feels more like a bloke you'd meet down the boozer. It feels more like the bloke you'd meet down wherever and chat to him, and he'd be a real person. It'd be really almost like a soundtrack to 17, 18-year-old me. Like it'd feel like something like that, even though the lyrics might not be as in line, but it feels like it should be played above
They're like
that sort of in that sort of like area of the time.
they're just like a classic, really good indie band. Like I think when I first heard of them, is Meg sent me 13 by them and was
that's
like,
brilliant.
I was
Really
like,
good tune.
this is something that you like she could
Really?
tell.
Yeah.
This is something you lot would like, and you know when you put it on, you're like.
Yeah,
10
you're
seconds
right.
in. Yeah, this is a
Nice.
fucking
Yeah,
belter.
yeah.
And then, like, even then, I think you found them, like, almost separate to that.
Yeah, I did.
And found them on your own set. And,
I found them on their new
found them again.
single.
I find with them, I find it really interesting to see where they'll go.
Yeah.
I'd love to see where they'll end
what
up,
route
like
it will
where
go down.
that sort of span of music will go.
Yeah, it's
'cause
really interesting.
It's a weird spiral because obviously you look at Alex Turner as a almost like a massive influence for
Speaking
them.
of light, really, for that
Mate,
indie
because
scene.
that for indie scene, especially for bands like that, which take a lot from that northern sound, and I think the way that he's gone with it is probably completely off the trajectory that.
Oh, you smashed it, mate. That's £1, I reckon.
I could give you 50p. for
Right,
that.
first. We've got
mistake jar. That we
Any big mistake, like you fuck up a word or like you say the wrong
My
thing.
mum and dad would pay you a lot of money for a big mistake.
You're a big old pound, that's what you are, mate.
And then we found out me, they weren't a girl, so sorry about that.
Yeah, it's £1 in the mistake jar, which you haven't actually. Oh, we're going to get one.
Really nice.
Yeah,
That's
we need
a
an
good
actual
idea.
jar,
Well,
but-
what mistake? What? Oh no.
That's £1 in the mistake jar! We just
no.
tried to say trajectory and completely fucked
Oh,
it.
yeah.
trajectory. But anyway, the trajectory that he's on is
Smashed it.
probably incredibly different to how these other
Yeah.
bands that
Yeah.
take from his inspiration, because it's so different. Like Alex Turner's done all that work to go from his Suck It In C album to this most recent
Tranquility Base, mate.
Hotel.
Oh, fucking
is
love it.
a fucking unreal album.
I really wasn't a big fan of that Tranquility.
Oh.
I wasn't, and then I saw him live in Spain. And I thought it was fucking quality.
Mate,
I was
that-
like, shit, man. I was
That
like,
album, I love that album.
Yeah.
For me, that album
What-
is
what
actually
turn?
the best.
what a turn! Like
Yeah,
just to turn away
but
from like
I love
this
that.
thing of people will really like.
I say it all the time, but again, like even to that level, to be able to just say like, fuck, like we did AM and it was a fucking indie rock album.
Yeah.
Fuck that, we're doing this like indie like vision of a fucking hotel on the moon, and I'm gonna do this, and it's like, yeah, go on,
And that's
like
what-
you
that's
do
what makes
that.
me-
That's
that-
class.
That's what really intrigues me with these bands that take a lot of inspiration from him and his creation, his creative process, because he's done stuff that no one could have ever imagined.
It's like
with
David
the genre.
Bowie-esque, like
Yeah.
taking on a character or
I think the thing is-
inventing a place.
especially
It's whether, how the out charms are going to almost like do their thing. Are they
Yeah,
going to make a
is
drastic
it gonna
twang? Are
come?
they going to?
People
where are they
come under
gonna go?
criticism, I think, for doing that Arctic Monkeys thing, but they're such a huge influence.
It's
I mean,
massive.
it's not us completely, but I totally understand where people are
Really
so influenced
do,
by them.
yeah.
Why would they not? Like, they influenced by Arctic Monkeys, they'll do that. But
Yeah.
I really like to think, where will they end up? Like,
Yeah,
where
where
will
would they
end
go?
up?
Yeah, 'cause
Where
it's
will
that-
the out charms take it in that sense?
the out
'cause-
charms, we've just bought tickets for them.
Yeah, we
you
did.
finish that
We
project?
were looking at them, and then we saw they were playing in Manchester.
Oh, is that just now?
And, yeah,
Oh,
like,
really?
literally
Before the
like
show?
10 minutes
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
And I was like,
Really?
there's still tickets left, and you were like, buy them. It's like, yeah, so
Really?
we
just-
well,
we
look,
just-
hopefully that fucking gig goes ahead.
For sure.
We
When
were
is
there in Manchester. Good question. March,
March?
April next
Yeah.
year.
See,
March, I think.
I think them sort of bands specifically, the ones that have really turn it up are the ones who are just like live. They're just another level.
I can't
And
wait.
that's
to
what
see
I'm
them
looking
live. I
forward
can't
Be
to
interested
wait.
to see how good they are live as well.
Yeah,
cannot wait.
absolutely, because they're going to be a band that actually I think have
Are
got
they
real
doing quite
potential.
well locally? Yeah.
Yeah, in Doncaster way, and also they've managed to get some of their sound down this way with us lot, and they're sitting on 6,500.
Nice.
Yeah, they're doing alright. They are doing well.
listeners and stuff. Like it's a fair decent
Banging,
chunk.
yeah.
Fair
class.
decent chunk, and I'm like, actually, these could really have a potential to kind of capture
Mate,
that sound and
We
use
always say
that
to
sound.
take it to that next level is like we look like bands that take it from like that 5,000 to like 20,000.
That's the
mark.
thing.
Like,
That
it's
is the real
jump
level.
is-
Yeah.
It's a big jump, but it's like they could do it for sure.
Oh mate, yeah. I think the thing is, especially with that level, it does seem like personally, I thought we need to make that jump us, but the jump you've already made seems so much less now. But it's the same jump. You're just doing it
Yeah,
again.
exactly.
But,
Yeah.
So
and it does come like it.
if you carry on, you will do it. Like,
Consistency, I think, is a big thing. Like you need a banger like Love Me to Death or like 13 and that to like get people going, to get those first few,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
after that it's about consistency. I think
Totally.
like if you keep going, and like with you boys as well, like next 2, 3, 4 singles, all of a sudden like that growth just
Well, it
keeps
shows
going,
as
doesn't
well
it?
with
Like-
your release pattern that you've done after Love Me to Death, and you've released a few ones. Obviously, that Help has now been blown out the water again. It's another one that's come from people that have been interested
people
in
go
that Love
back
Me
and
to
listen
Death,
to
and they're
Blue
like,
and Sad Smile and go, oh the fucking hell,
it's
these are
crazy
good as
to think,
well. Like,
especially that Hellbell was better than Love Me to Death did at the start. So it's interesting where that
Yeah.
go. Like, it might not
could
do
go
anything.
even
It
more.
could do anything more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
You don't know.
I think the thing I like the most of us, I really like the idea of being defined by being quite indefinable. I like that idea of people really having no clue what they're going to hear next, because what's
Yeah.
the point if you know what single you're going to get? Then what's the point? Like, and that's
it?
where
Yeah.
you really
I
just
like
fizzle
that.
out.
yeah, I like
do
that a
really
lot.
like that.
Yeah, I think in terms of creatively, that will keep me fresh in it. I won't
Yeah.
get bored. I could get bored of doing Lemon Death over and over again, but I couldn't get bored of
You'll
doing.
be writing jazz songs next week. Like,
Yeah,
who knows,
mate,
you know what I mean?
I
Like,
wish I
it's-
could, but I can't. I'm not good enough. Yeah.
You never know.
Mate, one day.
I'll tell you what, I'll get my cello back out.
Yeah.
We'll get
You
going.
should carry on with it. You should
Oh,
do.
mate, don't tempt me. Don't
You
tempt
should
me.
do. Cello's a really cool instrument.
I wish you'd shut up about the cello.
That should be a really big theme. Just carrying on about the cello.
Mate, the cello's been in every fucking
I'll,
episode.
I'll tell you
Shut
what.
up.
At a certain point, I might get it tattooed on me.
No,
You
you
should
won't.
do. You should.
At
That'd be a good tattoo.
at some point,
Cello
steel
down your
pans
I keep
or
meaning to
cello?
get more tattoos, but I can't get any more. I just keep forgetting. You know, it's just something you could easily do. But
Yeah, I'd be.
I always
I'd be.
forget.
If we get to a point where we're sitting on 10,000 followers on Instagram and we're getting an average of well over 1,000
record.
listeners.
When
on
we've
the-
got 10,000 followers, I'll have scratch record on my back.
oh, that's recorded.
That's filmed. This is filmed.
top, like over
Yeah.
the top, and then
Yeah, number with 10,000 scratch record.
Then
I'll get that on
that'd
my
be cool.
back if we hit 10,000 followers.
Can I do it?
No.
Oh,
We started,
You can design it.
First started doing tattoos in Leicester. You got a poke. What's it called?
Oh,
A poke.
stick and poke.
Stick and poke.
yeah.
Yeah, he was doing it. He was like,
we'd been talking about a video idea to get Joe to tattoo me.
oh mate,
Mate,
I would do
it'd be
it
sick.
if someone could do it.
If
But
I'd get
he
to-
was saying to me, he was like, "Oh, do you want me to do it?" I was like,
No.
"No, I was like, no,
Because
don't."
I know you.
Yeah, I was like,
No, yeah.
I've seen what you've done yourself, and I'm actually alright.
I've seen you try and pour milk into a cup of tea and you can't do that. So it's like, no chance.
I really want Joe to do TSRP on my just beneath.
Really?
My
Like, the thing is,
If you could do it,
pull that off,
I'd do
couldn't
it.
I? Like, if
Probably. You'd
do
I'll
it.
try it on Elliot,
I'd do it
and
for
then
you.
oh wait, we can all have it.
fair,
We can
like,
do a letter each.
French-
You could do a letter. You
Fred
could get a
did
load
the
of people.
square,
in.
a square on his leg, and it looked alright.
Get a square on his leg.
It looked alright.
It's all right. It's a fucking oval.
I didn't realise how funny that sounded until I just said it. But yeah, it looked alright.
It looks alright. It just wasn't a square. Though.
Out of all the squares I've seen, it's alright. It was an alright square.
Well, right. If any bands want to apply to do a letter of TSRP
Yeah,
and Elliot,
true.
then
Yeah, absolutely.
let
If
us
anyone
know.
wants- so we've got Cam. So you've got the T.
Yeah.
You've
Elliot will
got
do one.
We've got an S.
yes. Elliot will probably do the R.
Yeah.
We need a P.
Right.
Who
We'll
wants to
take
be the
bids
P?
for the P.
We'll
Highest
take
bidder.
bids for the P.
Dave Grohl, if you're watching,
Yeah,
you can do that.
I'll tell you. I'll let you tattoo the logo on me, Dave. Grohl.
Yeah, no, mate. Look, Dave can do what he
Dave
wants. He's
Grohl.
coming
I'll
on the
tell you,
podcast, man.
no, genuinely, if we can get a needle, I'll let you lot tattoo that on my.
They're not that expensive. To be honest, getting the stick.
I want someone here that's an actual tattoo artist that
I've
can
got,
do
a
all the
friend, I've got
cleaning
a friend who
stuff.
does stick and poke tattoos.
Well, there you go. We can
Should
work
do
on
it.
that. We can do that fine.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, subscribe to the
Do
YouTube
it.
channel because actually that's coming not soon, but it will be coming.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, guys.
Mate, he is struggling. Right, I'm doing my band.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
fucking come for a
go,
second.
go, go.
Do the band
Okay.
start together. Show.
In a pint, that was a mistake.
I want to talk about a band that actually followed us, which
Yes.
is mad because they are massive. And that
Congrats.
is, yeah, thank you.
Nice.
They followed us, and when a band follows us, I'm like, I always check them out anyway. And then a lot of them message
That's
are like,
Twitter
check
or
us out, Instagram.
Nice.
And they quite often message like, oh, like, do you want to check us out and stuff? And like, if you follow us, I will listen to your songs regardless.
Yeah, for sure.
And I checked these out, and I was like, fucking hell, they've got 23,000 listeners on Spotify. So I was like, okay, had a look at it. Yeah, they're from London.
I didn't know they followed you.
Yeah, they followed us, and I was like, okay, sick. And they liked the giveaway stuff, and like I messaged them. They messaged about that. Really nice. Seemed like really, really decent, down to earth lads that replied to us and seemed really good. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna check them out. It turns out they gained a lot of their like support and notoriety because Carl Barrett from the Libertines rang them up and asked them to go on their UK tour with them.
That is, could you imagine that?
Mate,
Which they did.
Of course.
And obviously then...
No, you're right.
Yeah, you
which
went,
they were
actually, I
like-
don't quite like the
Can you imagine?
Libertines.
No,
Like,
yeah.
we were speaking about like being played with Annie Mac. I think like Carl Barrett ringing you and being like, "Do you want to support the Libertines on our UK tour?" is probably up there with
mate.
the pinnacle of an indie band's
yeah,
life.
yeah.
And I was like, no wonder they've fucking banged since. But they're like fully deserving of it. Like they're not like they're a little bit of a like they're riding that wave. Like they deserve the attention
Everything
they've got
they're
from it.
getting, for sure.
From?
They're from London.
Banging.
Yeah, and it was on their bio. They're a mix of rock, hip hop, and jazz.
They're a
it's
a
like
storm of
each- and
everything.
again,
I'm
like,
invested already.
Mate, literally, like the genre bending stuff they do. Like they've released this new single, "Away Days," which is like it's really good,
Incredible.
but it's like it's almost got quite like a somber tone over it. But it's like a really like indie like melodic hit. Get me that fucking You're the bootlegger. Ring that, ring that. It is, but that is a tune, and it's really unique. But it's like he's lost him now. It's poppier as well, and it's like a dark pop. Is how I describe it, and I'm not sure that's the thing.
No,
but
it is.
it's really poppy.
Anything
It is really poppy and like a little more mainstream, but it has got that like somber indie tone to it.
They've
which
got a
I
nice.
really like.
They've got a nice like. It's almost like a more indie punk is the way I describe it. In a sense of it's quite loud and arrogant, but at the same time it's got that note over the top where it has a better alternative voice. That's to some of these punk bands we have. They're not fucking singers, but they are very good performers. And this band actually, they have a really good singer up front that can turn his hand to that sort of level of music that he needs to.
But like they've also got a song called "I Want to Get High." And honestly, if you told me like
the message?
Snoop Dogg was featuring on it though, generally like that sort of vibe, it's like hip hop, like 90s hip hop, Snoop Dogg vibes with like
See, I haven't listened to that
indie
yet.
mate. You'd love it. It's like it's literally like indie music with like old school hip hop rap over the top.
Really?
And like literally
What is
like
the singer rapping?
yeah, well. Rap is
Like
probably
half
like
rapping, like
it
half,
is like
like,
that
sing
sort of
rapping.
Snoop Dogg like singing
Is
sort
it a bit
of rap,
city-like?
like he's a little bit, but a little bit more like a little bit more singing over it.
Okay.
But a real like chilled vibe with
On
it.
that tune,
Really?
On
Oh,
I Want
yeah.
to Get High, yeah, it's so different to that Away Days. And then they've got a song called Nothing But an Actor, and that's like really upbeat riff, like really indie rock, like very like old school, like good guitar riff, good open. And you know, you like listen to all these songs and you're like, fucking hell, this is the same bloke.
Same
And
band,
apparently,
no,
so
you
the
do,
lead singer is Zachary Charles Skinner, which is why I think they're the Skinner brothers, obviously. And
I'd assume.
apparently,
Makes
like
sense.
I'd
he
make
is
the
a
assumption.
fucking genius.
Yeah.
Like he is like one of these like up and coming Noel Gallagher style figures where like he writes it, he sings it, and he's really fucking good.
Yeah.
And I think this is showing to me when like I've got a song that I feel like Snoop Dogg could feature on, then a song that's like, you know, like
Oh, mate.
a downbeat like indie pop tune, then it's like an upbeat indie rock tune. I'm like, fucking hell,
Yeah,
like, where
yeah,
these
yeah,
boys
yeah.
are, and they've got a lot of, I said like 23,000 listeners, and they've got like
On
an
their
album
way.
out. They're on
Yeah,
their way
yeah.
anyway, but like if you haven't heard of the Skinner Brothers, like go listen
Have
to
a
it.
fucking
Mate,
look.
I've
gander
honestly, to be honest,
because-
not heard of them before now. I want to
No.
hear them now.
Yeah.
To be fair,
The whole
I hadn't
discography is
heard
so
of them.
interesting,
I
yeah.
hadn't heard of them since till they followed us on Instagram.
Yeah, no, me neither,
'cause-
till they followed us.
So that's because that's the only one that I'm allowed in.
Mm.
And
it's not allowed near the social medias, basically.
yeah, I don't do the social media. So if you ever get a response from it, it's probably Joe.
It's always Joe.
Yeah, no. I made my first response to a comment the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
someone had commented on an Instagram TV, and I responded.
Oh, yeah, I did see that, actually, yeah.
To Meg Casey. I made a response to her, and
Yeah, because I saw that her comment, and then I went to reply, and I saw there was already a reply, and I was like, "Whoa, go on, Elliot!" Like, yeah.
Meg Casey, she's a girl from uni, though.
yeah,
She's
go, Elliot
my
knows.
girlfriend's best mate. So it's my girlfriend's best mate. So
but he responded, and I was like, "Oh, go on then, big man. Like, you take the response." But normally, 99% of the time, it's
So I found them when they started liking and following us on and doing their bits and bobs on Instagram with us. I was kind of got interested in had a little look see and had a little look through. I'd never.
The away days is in the playlist, so like that's knocking about now. But like
that's what you played just before, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a good tune. Yeah,
it's
I
a
like
great
that. I enjoyed
tune,
that.
mate. But they're well worth they've got a big discography. Like I think they've got one album and then like a load of things. Like they've got a lot of music, so delve into them.
I think on the like you say on the surface of these indie bands, like indies just makes no sense at all. It's just independent. So it doesn't mean anything.
Look, I want to speak about this and almost like have a bigger topic, but like it literally just means anything that's not directly mainstream pop. It can be anything. Like
and that's why I love doing a podcast on it, because actually like we say little things where we're like, oh yeah, like this is a great indie tune, because actually indie means fuck all. Indie and alternative mean absolutely shag all, and it gives us such a wide spread of things to listen to. Like we can listen to something that's punky, we can listen to something that's we can listen to stuff that's punk. We can listen to stuff that's fucking real singer-songy, like Jerry Cinnamon sort of vibes. Like, it's everything in between. Where really, I love being able to mix all the genres together. And I think for me, it's perfect.
I think that's the thing I love seeing with indie at the moment. I like seeing the variation at the moment. That's what any band that I think that could be anything. Like say with that Sounds of That. I love that. I love to hear anything where I'm going.
Completely different.
I don't know what the next song's going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
They've got
where
that vibe where
like is.
You listen to their top 5 most popular songs and every single one is a different genre, and it's like you boys you jump on guard and you're like, oh my god,
it's a bit all over.
Actually, on the surface, you could scratch the surface and be like, oh, it's just another indie band and hear one song, but then all of a sudden you hear the discography.
It needs even for us now. Like you do need that little bit of something to stick out because there's a lot. Definitely. Thousands and thousands of fucking top bands, and
I suppose where the indie thing comes from is the continuances of indie bands of guitar and riff, where they do suddenly twinge the ears, where you go, I know where that's going to come through. But I think where.
Sorry, no. Just making faces to cameraman Chris.
Oh, sorry, you're right, Chris. I think with indie bands, I think where it comes through is where there is guitar and riff that does come through. And people love that. But I think I'd like to see more differences.
Yeah, the differences. Yeah,
well, there you go. You've got it. Cam Pike wants to see more differences. Fucking sort yourselves out.
Yeah, alright.
You said it now. He's a big name. Sort yourselves out.
Sort yourselves out.
Celebrity Cam Pike.
I'm writing everything in drop D anyway.
Yeah, go on. Well, I mean, we've been running for such a long time.
We're running for an hour and 20.
Carry on,
I know, mate. We always feel like that. Like we will. We just probably won't put it out there.
It's gonna get worse anyway. So it's fine.
I've really enjoyed having you on today.
Mate, thanks, man.
Thank you so much for coming on.
I honestly loved it. I honestly loved it.
Class, and I'm sure it won't be your last appearance on the Scratch.
No, God no. We'll definitely have other things coming.
We need you, and we'll have Will on as well. I can't wait for
that. Yeah, absolutely. Once the setup gets a little bit better and we find a little bit of fucking money to put into it, we'll be all over it for sure.
Honestly, this is one of the more organised interviews I've been a part of. So
all these posh fucking BBC introducing stuff. Yeah, nothing on us.
Fuck all on the Scratch Record podcast.
Mate, I'm well excited to see where it's going to go. I think you guys are going to go proper up there.
Thank you.
I loved it.
Cheers.
Thanks for having me.
It's been fucking brilliant. It is. I've really enjoyed it, and especially getting an insight on how we were saying about it when you went for your piss. We were saying about how it's a brilliant insight in a band that we fucking love, and we really do enjoy hearing what you lot come up with.
Thank you.
And it's an insight that we didn't realise was actually part of the bigger process. And it's nice. It is nice to hear, and especially people that listen to you on a regular basis, because there is quite a fucking few of them now.
And if there's garden fans listening to this and it's your first podcast, fucking subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the SI Podcast, because if you've come over to listen to this guy, he likes us, so fucking follow us as well.
And hang on, I follow this. So what should you do?
And also, if Joe's completely forgot about the thing that takes the most fucking time, we are now on fucking YouTube. Let's please subscribe. Let's like. Chris has got his applaud button. Please like, subscribe,
comment. I love comments on YouTube.
Let us know. We'll get back. We'll get responding. We've got other things coming with it. We've got bigger things coming for the YouTube as well. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye on what's coming.
Episode 20, mate.
Episode 20. I know we're only episode 13, but you lot fucking wait and see. It's all in the works. If you could find the Easter eggs, is it not? Fuck! Camera! Cunt!
Talk to this camera. Talk to this camera here.
There's a lot of things coming. There's a lot of things coming. I promise you we'll all be excited.
Always.
If you can find the Easter eggs, it's all good crack. So you'll see it coming. Get involved. We love to have you all around. We'll see you all next week on the next episode of the Scratch Record Podcast. Bless and peace.
Cheers.
Nice.
Good work.
That was good.